to the class. We are starting off with the next lesson uh, on this YouTube uh, channel, where we are doing arithmetic questions from past CAT papers. And as I've already mentioned, the reason I'm doing the arithmetic questions from the past CAT papers for you is essentially, especially from CAT 18. The reason for doing the arithmetic questions is that the arithmetic questions are some of the most complex questions that have appeared in the CAT, specifically CAT 18, and knowing them is a good way to look at understanding that when the CAT becomes tough, what is the level of difficulty it goes to. So this is the first question for you that you see here. निखिल से एक और बात कर लो, दिख रहा है कि नहीं दिख रहा, कॉल करो निखिल. I don't talk. So the question says, in an apartment complex, the number of people aged 51 years and above is 30, and there are at most 39 people whose ages are below 51 years. So in an apartment complex, the number of people aged 51 years and above is 30, and there are at most 39 people whose ages are below 51 years. So what this is telling us, that in the complex, 51 plus people is exactly 30. So in this case, what you should recognize is that the number of people is a fixed number, but the age of these people is not defined. 51 plus can be anything, as we know. Specifically, is going to come with respect to average age calculations, etc. And there are at most 39 people whose ages are below 51 years. So maximum 39 people whose age is below 51 years. So they can be 50, 49, 48, up to even 1 year old, maybe even 0 year old. And then it tells us that the average age of all the people in the apartment complex is 38 years. So the average age of all the people in the apartment complex is 38 years. And we know definitely that these 30 people have an average age above 51. So it's to the right of 51 for these 30 people. So for these 30 people, the average age spectrum will be somewhere between 51 and to the right. Right? And the average age of all the apartment people in the complex is 38. And so obviously, this maximum of 39 people who are the other group. There are two groups of people aged above 51 and people aged below 51. And since there is a maximum of 39 people at the age of below 51, these 39 people will have to have an average at most 39. So this can be below 39 also. It could be 38, it could be 37, it can be one person also. As far as an average of 38 is feasible for the whole group. And the question says that these 39 people have an average age such that the overall average is 38. So the question is asking us, what is the largest possible average age in years of the people whose ages are below 51 years? So for this number, the question is asking us for the largest possible average age. How high can we take this? And again, to do this question well, you need a strong understanding and strong fundamental on allegation. Now, see, basically the way you have to think here is going to be this, that if you try to keep this 51 towards the right, now see, basically these 39 people or whatever, less than 39 people, this is given to us as max 39. So it's less than 39 or 39. So these people are all whose the average age has to be such that it is pulling this average age of 51 plus for these 30 people back all the way down to 38. Right? So two things, there are three variables here that you need to control. One is, what do you want to do with this average age? Do you want to keep it 51 or do you want to keep it to the right? The second is, what do you want to do with this number of people? Do you want to keep them at 39 or do you want to keep them below that? You want to keep them at 39 or you want to keep them at below that? And the third variable is the variable asked of us is, what is the largest average age that can be put here so that this condition of 38, the only fixed condition here is this 38 and this 30. Now if you know your allegation, so I'll just rub this off and come back to a little bit of discussion on what allegation is. If you know your allegation basically is the mixing of two groups with their own weighted averages. So if I have rice worth 30 rupees a kg and 50 rupees a kg, the average price moves between 30 to 50 depending on the number of people or the number of kgs I buy of the two, and more precisely the ratio of the number of kgs, not exactly the number of kgs, but the ratio of the number of kgs. The larger I put, the more weight I put on this side, the more it moves towards the right. The more weight I put on this side, the more the average gets pulled down to the left. That's the basic logic of allegation. And this is an allegation question again because we are talking about two groups getting mixed. We have two groups of people who are getting mixed to give us an average of 38. The first group of people are those whose average age is below 51. The second group of people is those whose average age is 51 or above. 51 is the limiting average age. It can obviously go above. It can also be an average of 99 for them. So, in this question, the main issue is three. Let's first understand again the full context of the question. This is 30 people exactly. This is an average of 38 exactly. And this 51 is 51 or more. And on the other side, the average of the second group of people who are below 51 years, which has a maximum of 39 people for us. And the other factor is the number of people on this going from 0 to 39. So in order to be able to solve such questions, you need to first understand the fact that there are three variables here with their limitations. This is one variable with this limitation. This is the average of the first group, which is people above 51, and whose limiting case will be that the average will be 51 exactly. So although there are people above 51, the limiting case is taken in this case using that all these people are aged 51.0001. So effectively the average age can come down all the way to 51.00001, which practically can just be taken as 51. Then there's the second aspect of this with respect to whether you want to. So as I said, you have an option of taking this average age up or keeping it limited to 51 at the lower end. You have a second option of using a larger weight of 39 people here, or coming down all the way to less number of people. So again, this is a variable. And the third variable is the average you'll have to put here so that the 38 is achieved. Right? So to just show you a small precursor of this, let me just explain this to you through one calculation. And that calculation could be something like, let's suppose you have 39 people with an average of X and 30 people with an average of 51 exactly. So you need 69 people with an average of 38. So if you just do this into this plus this into this should be equal to 69 into 38. You'll be able to find the value of X here. So 38 into 7, 38 5s are 190, 6 are 228, 38 7s are 266 to 2660 minus 38 to 2622. Let me just check that. 38 into 70. Yeah, 2622. And on the left hand side you have 1530, that is 30 into 51 plus 39x. So if you do a small calculation of this, you get the value of X as 28 in this case. Now what will happen if you want to reduce this 39? Suppose you take only 38 people in this group. So then 38x plus 1530 will have to be 68 into 38, because there are 38 people here and 30 people here. So 68 into 38 will be 38 less than this. So that will be 2584. And if you do a small calculation, you take this 1530 on this side, you will get 1054 divided by 38. And you can see that the average is dropping to 27.7 approximately. So what you realize then here is that if you are reducing this 39 to 38 or 37, your average is going in the wrong direction, because the question is clearly asking you for the largest possible average age for the below 51-year-old people. And in this situation, you're not getting the largest possible average age. So if you think about this directionally, what you'll realize that I should fix this with the maximum number of people, because that's when I get the maximum average here. And the other factor is that if I start going higher than 51, suppose I try 52 here, so what will happen is 69 people with an average age of 38, which is 2522, 2622, will have to be equated to this total age will have to be equated to 52 into 30 plus 39 into x. Now instead of 51 into 30, if I am using 52 into 30 here, this will become 1560. So what will be the leftover part for this will be smaller than what we had with 51 into 30 here. So the value of x will go down naturally. So the two numbers that we were able to vary, this number we were able to vary from 39 below to 0. Going below 39 is bad for us with respect to maximizing this number, and this other number, the average age of the other 30 people whose average age was more than 51, or more than 51 years old, if I go above 51 for them, then it is again bad for this average age. So naturally, then the limiting case is the one we just worked out, that if 30 people have an average age of exactly 51 and there are exactly 39 people who have the lower average age, that's the case where you get the maximum value of the average age of those below 51 years, and the correct answer here will be option B, which is 28. So it's a brilliant question, and you need complete understanding of allegations and averages to be able to do this well. And allegation and average is one of the most important chapters in the CAT these days. So let's do one more question for today, and let's have a look at this. And the question says, train T leaves station X for station Y at 3 p.m. and train S, travelling at 3/4 of the speed of T, leaves Y for X at 4 p.m. So let's make sense of that, because there's enough information to process now. So let's try to make sense of what we just read. So what we have just read is train T leaves station X for station Y at 3 p.m. while train S, travelling at 3/4 of the speed of T. That means if I think of the speed of T as 4s, the speed of train S will be 3s. Or if I don't want to confuse myself between the S's and the train S, maybe I'll take the speed of the two trains as 4x and 3x. This is train S. So what is happening is this train is leaving at 3 p.m. and this train is leaving at 4 p.m. The two trains passed each other at a station Z, where the distance between X and Z is 3/5 of that between X and Y. Again, make sense of this. They are passing each other at station Z. where the distance x to z is 3/5 of the distance y to z. So if this distance is 5d, this distance is 3d. Sorry, 1 second. I misread that statement. The statement says the distance between x and z is 3/5 of that between x and y. So if I take the distance of x and y as 5d, then xz is 3d and yz is 2d. Not 5d, it will be 2d. So how many hours does train T take from its journey from x to y? So when we are talking about the number of hours taken by train D from x to y, what is going to happen is, since this train is starting at 3 p.m. and meeting and reaching point z at a particular time, and this train is starting at 4 p.m. and reaching z again at a particular time, if the train S is taking time t to reach that distance, train T is taking time t plus 1 to cover that distance. So what you have is 3d upon 4x distance by speed is equal to t plus 1 is equal to time, and 2d upon 3x is equal to t. Now the question asked of us is, how many hours does train T take for its journey from x to y? So the journey x to y being 5d totally, and the speed of the train T being 4x, we are trying to find a value of 5 by 4 d 5d by 4x. Now again, if you look at these two equations here, you are in a 2 equation, 3 unknown situation. But the get out of jail card here for you is that you don't want the value of x and d or 5d. You want the value of 5 by 4 d by x. So if you take the if you take d by x as delta, you will be 3 delta by 4 is equal to t plus 1, and 2 delta by 3 is equal to t. So if you replace this 2 delta by 3 in this equation, you will get 3 delta by 4 is equal to 2 delta by 3 plus 1. We have replaced the value of t from the second equation to the first. So if you solve this, you're going to get a situation where, if I just look at this equation and clean this board, or I introduce a new board for you. So if you solve further from here, you will get this 3 delta by 4 minus 2 delta by 3 is equal to 1. So if you take LCM of 12, this is going to be 9 delta minus 8 delta is equal to, divided by 12 of course is 1. So delta is equal to 12, right? And this, since delta is the measure of time here, right? So the target value being 5 by 4 d by x, we need 5 by 4, we need the value of 5 by 4 delta, which is 5 into 12 upon 4 which is 60 by 4, which is 15. And hence the correct answer here is 15 hours. This is the time taken by the train to reach, by the train T to reach the destination Y. So let me just recap what we did here. Let me just recap what we did here. What we had to do in this question was that if you thought of train T going from X to Y and starting at 3 p.m., and then we think of the other train S starting from Y at 4 p.m., and both these trains meet at a point Z. And the other things that are known to you is that the speed of train S is three quarters the speed of train T. So based on that, I take the speed of S as 3x. I take the speed of T as 4x. And then we move into the next part, and the distance of xz is 3/5 of the distance of xy. So if I take the distance xy as 5d, xz will become 3d and zy will become 2d. And then I have comparisons with respect to the time taken. So since this train is starting at 3 p.m. and that train is starting at 4 p.m. to reach Z, if the train S is taking time t, the train T is taking time t plus 1. That's where the thinking started, and based on that information, we started solving the equations. So we first wrote the two equations. The first equation was 3d by 4x is equal to t plus 1. Distance by speed is always equal to time. It's a very important structure of the time speed distance equation. And we're just writing the motion equation on both the motions. There are two motions. One is this motion and the other is this motion. So on the other motion we have 2d upon 3x is equal to t. And that's where we replaced. And we have to be conscious of the fact that since we want the time taken by the train T to go from x to y, the target value is 5d upon 4x. We're looking for the target value of 5d upon 4x. And basically, hence, from these two equations, from this system of equations, our target is essentially to come out with the value of d by x. So to do that, if I conveniently replace d by x as delta, I get these two equations. 3 delta by 4 is equal to t plus 1 and 2 delta by 3 is equal to t. And once I get these two equations, I can start solving on that basis by replacing the value of t in this equation, and then taking that t to the left hand side. We get 3 delta by 4 minus 2 delta by 3 is equal to 1, and then you do the LCMs. So the LCM becomes 12 here, and this becomes 9 delta minus 8 delta. So delta is 12, and since you are looking for 5d by 4x, you are essentially looking at 5 by 4 delta. If delta is 12, 5 by 4 delta is 5 into 12 by 4, which is 15. And hence the answer to this question of how many hours does T take for its journey from Y to Z would be 15 hours. Right then, so I'll wind up at this point. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'll be back with more in the next class. And see you again, and keep following Unacademy. If you are interested in Unacademy Plus, Unacademy Plus is a platform which is uh, a training platform where hosts of trainers like myself and Meenakshi Upadhyay ma'am and Bharat Gupta and you name some of the best teachers around India are teaching you for the CAT. And please do have a look at Unacademy Plus. And the best part of Unacademy Plus is that it takes your complete concerns about your preparation out of your hands. Your concerns are completely addressed. All kinds of concerns are addressed. Like, for example, how do I clear my doubts? So the answer to that is every fourth class of every faculty is a doubt clearing class. And the best part of Unacademy Plus is that once you join the subscription model of Unacademy Plus, you get access to all the teachers and all the content that's happening during that time. So you'll never be short of teaching content. That's the biggest promise that Unacademy Plus provides you. You'll never be short of content, materials, classes, number of teachers. They're all at your service, and it's a great platform to actually kickstart your preparation from. And if you do decide to join Unacademy Plus, you can use my promo code. It will give you a 10% discount over the existing discount, which is available on Unacademy on the Academy Plus website. This is my promo code Arunam Sharma. You can use it and join an Academy Plus. And hope to see you there. I take live DILR sessions there, some practice courses on quants, verbal, etc. also, and through the year, so to say. Right then, so I'll wind up then. Thank you so much for being part of this and watching this. And goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.